I'm buying the dip. You shouldn't buy a dip in a bear market. You should short it until bottom and then buy the bottom. No one knows when we're at a bottom. Better to get a reasonable discount hodl and ensure that I'm hodling during the largest growth days of the year. It's not a discount if it's gonna be half the price you bought next week. It absolutely is a discount if it's gonna be 100x the price I bought in 5 years.
What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. So today is Saturday. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you are having a great weekend so far. Finally, we have some green in the markets. Of course, this comes after a double-digit landslide of percentage losses, but hey, we will take it. And yesterday, we were discussing the possibility of having a bounce. In fact, when I put my video out, we were sitting below $7,000. We did have that bounce back up to around $7,387. And we slumped back down, and now currently we are treading sideways. So is this just going to be another sideways and dump situation? Because I'm going to tell you right now, the sentiment right now is just bearish, okay? You go on crypto Twitter, you go on YouTube, you go on Telegram, all these different analysts are calling for lower lows. Even some of the comments in the videos, you could tell, are just getting very negative, very bearish. So I want to talk about that today because we even have one prominent analyst saying that Bitcoin won't recover until every single bull turns into a bear or at least stops being optimistic, which you know that's probably not going to happen when you're talking about Bitcoin maximalists and people in, crypto Twitter. But that's the situation. I also want to touch on the China FUD and kind of go into why it may not actually be as bad as everyone thinks it is. Also want to talk about the fact that we did have another all-time high, 2,469 contracts for Bakkt futures. And I actually want to tell you why that is pretty interesting. We're going to talk about that. There is a significance to that. We will get into that in just a second. And finally, I want to end on also the fact that it looks like CZ from Binance is looking to actually sue the block because of their fake news that they put out the other day. And then they did have a rebuttal about that. So if that sounds good to you, that's all the stuff we're going to cover today. It's going to be a rapid fire video, so stick around. Also, if you are not subscribed to the Crypto Zombie channel, well, we do this every single day. What are you waiting for? And as you guys know, every Monday is the Ledger Nano S giveaway. We give away ledgers all day, every day. No, just kidding. We actually just give it away on Mondays. But that being said, guys, let's dive in. Let's have a look. And if you want one, just drop a comment on any video. Now, Bitcoin dominance still above 66%, 66.2%. Actually, having a look at some of the gainers today, Educare up 43%, Matic Network 20%, iExec 20%. So we are having some of these altcoins, Tezos up 10%, Maker as well. So having a look right here, actually I do have some news on Tezos a little bit later, but you can see that we're kind of split down the middle, right? Longs a little up today, so that's kind of positive, okay? We are having that bounce back, but we are still sitting well below the 200 daily moving average. You can see right here, we had the VPVR basically line up exactly with the 200 daily, and it could not hold us, and we dumped. Now, we did have a nice wick back up from about 6.7 to currently $7,330, but keep in mind that 7,330 is where the CME futures closed. So actually, if by the end of this weekend we're sitting a little bit lower, that's actually kind of not good, but it probably means we're going to go up to close the gap, right? So that's the thing. You don't want to have a major blast off over the weekend, especially if we were to go well above 7.3K, then we would have a lower gap, right? That we'd actually have to go down and revisit. But I know what everybody's asking. The big question is, where is the bottom? Have we hit the bottom yet? Was that 6.7K level the bottom, or do we have to go down to 6.5? I was talking to my dad the other day. He was saying he thinks we have to go down to 5.4. I was like, when do you analyze Bitcoin, man? So even my dad is a Bitcoin bear right now. That's how crazy it is, guys. Alex Kruger over here, you can see, he says that this is a bear market. Price action says so. He says price at a local bottom today, 8,000 will trade again soon, which he recommends that you short if we hit 8,000. His words, not mine. Good spots for long, 6,400, 6,000. High odds the halving won't be bullish. Many miners will capitulate if hash growth continues unbated. Now, you do see that we did fall down, but I do want to point out right now, we are actually sitting inside of the red zone. Now, I did say this was a bit of a danger zone. You know, I wanted to basically not fall below this. We did, but look at this. We wicked right back up to the level, and the significance of where we're sitting right now is because that's where we had this little bit of struggle right back here on May 11th and 12th when we had this massive pump, right? So just want to point that out. We did find ourselves, now granted, we are still in the danger zone, but the fact that we didn't stay below it, we wicked back above it, is short-term somewhat of a bit of comfort for Bitcoin. You could see essentially we did fall back into this wedge. We did touch the bottom. We actually touched it, pretty much perfectly touched it, and now we are treading back above again. So the question is, will we now be stomped out at the top? You know, if we were to go straight up today, that would be around the 7.7K level. So do look for some resistance if we do get back to $7,700. Now, I just want to point out what Plan B said. You know, he says some people panicking about this 17% drop this week. It's just normal Bitcoin behavior. He says, no, we are still up 2x year to date. And yes, the stock to flow model is just fine. Nothing out of the ordinary. In fact, if you zoom in right now, we are perfectly on the line. I mean, literally, we're sitting, like a smidgen below it, but essentially it makes more sense where Bitcoin is sitting now than where it did when we were at 3,000 and when we were at 14,000. This is really the area where Bitcoin should actually be if you're looking at the charts and you want it to actually be as healthy as possible. And I just want to show you guys one thing. Now, I know this chart is old. Honestly, I didn't feel like drawing it again. I don't really need to get my point across. If you're not aware of the stages that Bitcoin goes through, especially during its halving periods, which I know some of you are saying it's different this time, K-Dub, we're not going to do the same thing. Okay, fine. Then, I'll be wrong. That's okay. I don't mind being wrong, guys. But I do want to just point out that so far, we have followed exactly what we've done on every single halving. Essentially, you have basically this bull market. Then you followed instantly by the bear market. You have a moment of accumulation. Then you have the expansion phase, which is what I believe was the $14,000 blast off, right? And then we do have a hard correction. You can see when we go from the expansion to the reaccumulation, look, major drop here. Right here, major drop. And obviously we had a major drop from 14 to down to 7, right? And then essentially what you do is you enter this reaccumulation phase and you just tread sideways for a while leading up to the halving. So what could potentially be in store is a very boring next few months for Bitcoin where Bitcoin doesn't really do anything and we just kind of stay range bound, maybe just slowly creeping up, all right? Not saying that we don't have room for maybe one more dip, but I am going to point out that we did perfectly come down to the bottom of this flag that we've been talking about basically since we had the first formation in the beginning of July, and we touched the 6.798 level, and it does look like we are starting to bounce up again. Now, I would expect some resistance at around that 7.7K level that I talked about. You can see it's also the middle level here. So essentially, we're looking at around 7.7 as the resistance. If you're looking to put in a short there, not financial advice, but we are probably going to find some kind of resistance there. And obviously, we have spoken about these lower levels. The next one would be around the 5.8K level, but we're not going to talk about that until we feel the need to. Currently, we have been supported by this historic trend line right here that put in this parabolic advance. And, basically where this support and this support lined up, Bitcoin did have a bounce. And I do want to point out that Tor Demestier, he actually pointed out Bitcoin's parabolic uptrend, which started way back in July 2015, is still intact. Now, Peter Brandt, this is what I wanted to talk about. He says, I think a prolonged journey below the line might be needed to thoroughly prepare Bitcoin for the move to $50,000. The bulls must first be fully purged. When no bulls can be found on Twitter, then we will have a great buy signal.
Listen and understand, hodlers are out there, Sarah. They can't read a white paper. They can't code. They don't fear downturns or regulation. And they will absolutely not sell, ever, until they are wrecked.
However, I just want to point out the fact that it's going to be pretty hard to really shake out the weak hands and the bulls this time because we were sitting down at 3.2K. I was still here. A lot of you guys were still there. Many people were still optimistic. So it's really difficult to shake that type of sentiment, but maybe we do need to become more pessimistic. Maybe we do need to become more negative. I don't know. You tell me. It's been pretty negative out there lately, but maybe we do need some more capitulation. I mean, look at Magic Poop Cannon, okay? I know, silly name, but If you guys have ever followed him, he does a lot of analysis. He says, I've liquidated all of my crypto holdings until we start to see some improvement. I've been slowly decreasing my exposure, but now I've exited completely. I have long-term concerns that are unlikely to be relived by short-term price swing, so I'll be in the safety of cash. Somebody literally goes, time to go all in. Thanks for being a perfect indicator. And he says, good luck with that. So, is he being serious, or is he just trying to, be negative to just sort of add to the negative sentiment and sort of trick, all these bots that read sentiment? I don't know, but that doesn't sound very reassuring moving forward. But I do want to point out the fact that regardless of everything that's been going on, the Bitcoin dominance over the past few months has really not taken much of a hit. You can actually see when we had the major blast off here, essentially, we're still sitting higher Bitcoin dominance. Actually, we're sitting about the same that we were in July, almost exactly equal, which basically means nothing has changed. And all of this negativeness really hasn't shook the Bitcoin dominance, really. Now, that's not exactly the greatest things for altcoins specifically, but you gotta love Charles Hoskinson chiming in on this. And you never hear Charles Hoskinson really ever talk about price, but he says Bitcoin's price is going down. Remember, everyone, after the FUD, news trading and manipulation clears out, we still have a global movement that is going to change the world. We will see a 10K Bitcoin again and welcome a $100,000 Bitcoin. Crypto is unstoppable. Crypto is the future. I am actually going to give this a like and a retweet. That was a very, I like that one, Charles. I like that one. So we're going to retweet that one. All right. So that being said, guys, having a look at what is going on, it is going to be very difficult times right now. We are a little bit in no man's land specifically. So if you are looking to trade, over here on leverage, I do recommend you definitely don't go higher than 5x. Be very safe. Preferably wait for setups right now. We're not really seeing a setup. We are seeing a bit of is it trying to pump right now? It's got to get above this resistance. But I don't know. We could go the other way. By the end of this video, you never know. Bitcoin's price always loves to just have massive 5%, 10% moves by the end of all my videos. But if you guys are looking to do that, I do have a tutorial. I will drop that above. And of course, links below. But I do want to talk about Bakkt futures hitting an all-time high. You can see right here, it broke $20 million worth of volume. This is pretty incredible. But you know what's even more incredible than that? Is the demand of the volume. Now, I do know that they're going to switch to cash settled. They're going to screw everything over. But from a physically settled Bitcoin perspective, I just wanted to break this down super quick and just sort of show you what this demand means. Essentially, if you have 2,469 Bitcoin, right? Let's break out the calculator. Let's do some math real quick. So essentially, we're having, 12.5 Bitcoin produced every 10 minutes, right? So we do 12.5, multiply that by 6 to see what we get in an hour. So that's 75 Bitcoin per hour that are essentially being produced, right? So 75 times 24 hours in a day, that is 1,800 Bitcoin. So currently, we're having 1,800 Bitcoin being produced, being mined daily, and we're seeing Bakkt volume at 2,469. That means that there is not enough Bitcoin being produced to actually be enough for this volume, because each one of these represents one Bitcoin. And if that doesn't get you excited, it's even higher on the CME, because each one of those represents 5, although that's cash settled, so maybe we won't talk about that. But considering that next year, this is basically getting cut into half, and we're only going to have 900 Bitcoin coming out every day, I do still think that the halving is going to have an effect, regardless of whether or not people saying it's already priced in. It's going to be different this time. Simple supply and demand economics, you kind of can't deny that, right? But oh my goodness, am I being too bullish? No, I need to be a crypto bear so that then the price will turn around, right? Well, let's just keep having a talk about what's going on. So essentially, I wanted to actually discuss the China situation. And basically, Dovey Wan essentially, first of all, the whole thing is blockchain, not crypto. Okay, let's just get that out of the way right away. But you can see right here that Dovey actually says, and she's a go-to source because she does speak Chinese. Obviously, I can't translate stuff. So basically, she says in 2017, when similar announcement was made, BTCC and Yunbi got shut down, but this time, those are exchanges, by the way, they can't shut down Binance because Binance is actually registered in Malta. Huobi and OKX are regulatory vaccinated. I'm not really sure what that means, but I guess that's a good thing. Derivatives like BitMEX is more liquid than spot, so the material impact will be much less than it was in 2017. So essentially, she's saying, don't worry about it as much. It was actually a lot more big of a deal back then than it is now. We'll see. We'll see what they end up doing with it, but that's what she's saying. But essentially, like Crypto Rand says, it feels like mid-2017 all over again. Everybody panicking on the Bitcoin drop, China banning stuff here and there, media calling for the death of Bitcoin, but we all know how that year ended. I did give this a like and a retweet. Not saying that that's going to happen again, but come on, guys. Enough is enough, right? Also, having a look, we have been hearing about miner capitulation hash rate. Now, if you do look at this, I mean, yes, the hash rate is starting to kind of curve. It doesn't have this parabolic uptrend like it did before, but nevertheless, it still is trending up. Okay, so until we have a clear curve where we're definitely getting lower, I mean, you could still draw a trend right here and see that they're still touching at the bottom. So currently, I don't see any issue with the miner hash rate. And also talking about the, fake news that came out about the Binance, headquarters or offices in Shanghai being raided? Well, essentially it says Binance's CEO CZ is now looking to sue the block for fake news. Obviously the article blew up pretty quick, and some people were even saying that it may have even contributed to some of the sell-off of Bitcoin for fear of Binance, which is, basically one of the largest spot exchanges, getting raided, right? You can see down here that he says he will be suing the block. And actually, Frank Shapiro, he also released an article. If you guys want, I will drop it below. This says setting the record straight on our Binance reporting. So they go into all this, but essentially they summarized it saying that, his team stands by a majority of the article, citing reports from caging.com that indicated the existence of at least 2 Shanghai offices of Binance. It was added that the block's oft-mentioned Binance source who worked closely with the exchange vouched for the report, saying that the office housed executives, including Zhao, alongside 200 staff at the time. So, guys, I don't even know what to believe anymore, and this is one of the biggest problems, and it's actually starting to piss me off. I've been keeping kind of quiet about it, but as somebody that does daily crypto updates, obviously, if I had to research and dive into every single piece of news that I was going to talk about, I would be here all day long and I'd never put a video out. And, when you look at guys like The Block who are, really trying to be as objective as possible, they're saying that, the sources are credible, you want to trust these guys, but now it's just I don't even know who to believe, what source is real news, what source is fake news. It makes it very complicated for a person like me. So obviously, guys, just be very careful with anything that you read out there. You never know what is or isn't fake news in real life too, not just crypto. And, even I can make a mistake. Say I read something and then it's on all these different things and then that turns out to be fake, right? So obviously take everything with a grain of salt. Just wanted to point that out. Also, guys, I did mention, Tezos in the beginning. They've actually been having a pretty good run lately. You can see Coinbase Custody is looking to roll out Tezos staking to international users soon. So this might be a little bit of the excitement and why Tezos has, actually been performing. It's up 13% today. And you can see it's been having a nice sort of steady upwards trajectory, essentially for the past month. So it might have something to do with this. You can see right here, initially they say that the feature is only going to be available to customers in select regions. As far as staking support for Tezos is concerned, no specific regions were announced at this time. So, is it a buy the rumor, sell the news? I don't know. I'm not going to make any assumption on Tezos, but I will say if you have been in Tezos, congratulations, it has been doing quite well. In fact, I've noticed that sort of staking and masternodes are getting popular again. Maybe it's just because people got bored with trading as well. For example, Divi, they recently had a token tank thing. They were actually out at World CryptoCon, had a chance to talk to them. And one of the projects that we had spoken about a while ago, and I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update on, was actually Velis, because now they're offering masternodes as well. Essentially, you need 1 million VLX tokens. Now, I know people are already going to say 30 million. That's way too much. I agree. Excuse me, not 30 million, 30,000. But essentially, they have teamed up with Coin Payments. Now, keep in mind, their founder, Alex Androdov, is from there. And they say that users only need to set up an account on Coin Payments, which they can participate in pooled staking of their VLX tokens. So it does say that it's under development and the AI algorithm isn't yet primed to deliver this feature, but they have set rewards at 8%, which is higher than what they're saying EOS is currently at 2%. Now, let me know if you guys are actually working on staking any of this stuff. If you're looking to stake this, if you're looking to stake some Tezos, if you have any masternodes, is that something that you're interested in? I do know that a lot of people are interested in that. So yeah, let me know if you guys are doing that and how that's going. And I do want to end on one piece of positive news today. Yahoo Finance has integrated its website with cryptocurrency pricing by major crypto data supplier CoinMarketCap. So We do know that their metrics can be a bit flawed, but the website now allows visitors to track prices for major cryptocurrencies, providing CoinMarketCap-based data, including market capitalization, trading volume, circulating supply, and many more. And that being said, how is Bitcoin doing? Yes, look at that. We had a failed pump. Look, we came up here, we hit this little resistance right here, and we're just going to go sideways. So that's what we're doing right now, guys. Maybe that's what the whales are going to do. Maybe now they're just going to bore us to death. That's their new game plan. Just absolutely bore the crypto people to death, and then they'll just forget about it, and then we can accumulate. So that being said, guys, thank you so much for coming back to the channel. You guys rock. You're the reason that I do this every single day. And yeah, that's it for me today, guys. Also, you will notice that we're not going to have the outro music play today. The reason is because I got hit with a slew of copyright claims because apparently the song that I use at the end of the video has a snippet of a clip from Ray Charles from a song called Hallelujah, I Just Love You So. So because of that, I had to literally take out all of my videos with that song. So because of that, I have no idea what song's gonna play. Maybe we'll just go with the old school 8-bit for now. That being said, you guys rock. You're the reason that I do this every single day. If you guys do want to get a Ledger Nano S, drop a comment below. Definitely be safe out there. And that is it for me today, guys. Thank you so much once again. My name is K-Dub. This is Crypto Zombie. Until next time, stay crypto and peace out.